Gaming news outlet IGN is facing accusations of conducting a smear campaign against Game Science, the studio behind the action RPG Black Myth: Wukong. Social media users have pointed out a pattern of negative coverage, with each article in the game referencing a previous hit piece on the studio. Some are even suggesting IGN and Sweet Baby Inc. are trying to shake down Game Science, pressuring them to pay for consulting services to spin the narrative in a more, quote, woke direction. For those of you who don't know, Sweet Baby Inc. is a company in Montreal that was started in 2018 by former Ubisoft developers, and they offer all sorts of services like writing, consultation, narrative design, and making games, quote, more diverse. Now here's where it gets interesting. Sweet Baby Inc. has faced criticisms themselves, with many accusing the company of pushing their, quote, woke agenda. Basically, gamers think that they're trying to force certain ideas or values into games.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups, and if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
This issue with Black Myth: Wukong have also sparked a wider discussion about the state of game journalism and the influence of corporate interests. Some users are calling for a boycott of IGN, while others are defending the outlet. Despite the negative publicity, the controversy appears to be generating more interest in Black Myth: Wukong, some users predicting that it will become a massive success due to the Streisand effect. While IGN had published articles showcasing gameplay and positive aspects of the game, some articles raised concerns among fans. In particular, an article titled "How Black Myth: Wukong Developers' History of Sexism is Complicating Its Journey to the West" has been highlighted as a potential hit piece. In this November 2023 article, they wrote, "For an indie studio that has only released mobile titles within the country, this widespread acclaim over Black Myth: Wukong is a largely unprecedented feat, particularly for a game that has not been released yet. But beneath the luster of this Souls-like is a studio plagued by claims of sexism. Several posts have surfaced from Chinese social media site Weibo, written by individuals from the studio, that contain multiple references to genitalia and sexual innuendos. These have provoked a backlash among some in the game's community, many of whom are women. This was coupled by recruitment posters by the studio produced in 2015, which featured images and headlines that point to a culture of ingrained sexism in game science. In reviewing IGN's latest articles about Black Myth: Wukong, each one mentions about the issue of game science alleged sexism. While addressing such issue is important, the timing and prominence of the articles, amidst the positive coverage of the game, have led some to question IGN's motives. Critics argue that focusing on these allegations could overshadow the game's merits and potentially harm its reception. This has also fueled a conversation about the state of game journalism and potential influence of corporate interests. The gaming media has undergone significant consolidation, with larger companies acquiring smaller outlets. Concerns are raised about potential conflicts of interest, as some fear that these larger companies may leverage their media holdings to promote their own products or push specific narratives. If such an agenda exists, the control becomes easier when the information sources are consolidated. Readers who rely solely on a few major outlets may not receive a complete or unbiased picture. This situation has also prompted many gaming journalists whose focus are independent and authentic reporting to establish their own platforms like Aftermath. They often rely on audience support through donations and subscriptions, allowing them to maintain creative control and unbiased coverage. IGN has not yet publicly addressed this issue. Thanks for watching. This is JC, and if you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing and donating at buymeacoffee.com/spieltimes.